You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
Let's go!
All right, folks, welcome back to the Valley Labor Report. My name is Jacob Morrison, here with my co-host, David Story. So David had, everybody has been seeing the rollout of the vaccine be slower than we were hoping. And so David did a little bit of digging.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing is for the past week, 2 weeks, I've said numerous times that unfortunately I listen to this station through the week since we've been on here to my detriment, because it sends my blood pressure. I don't check my blood pressure, but it sends my blood pressure through the roof. Presumably, I feel it in my head anyways, the ignorance that's spewed every week. And so I started doing some checking, and I've done some number crunching, and you being the math genius here, that's right. The bachelor's in mathematics from UAH, I mean, that's right. Probably one of the smartest people I know as far as math goes. Okay, you can double check my numbers over there, but the Department of Health in Alabama released a new website this past week to show the rollout of the vaccine. I mean, it's really data driven. I was impressed. Whoever done the programming behind that was excellent. But it gives you the ability to go in and look at how many vaccines we've got in stock, how many vaccines have been administered, the amount of COVID patients. I mean, then it's really, really good. So I started doing some numbers. And if you want to see this website, just Google Alabama COVID-19 dashboard. It's listed under that. As of December 28th, 3 days after Christmas, just 5 days ago, Alabama had 128,175 doses of the vaccine. So we've got a population of 4.9 million. We've got 1/20th of what we need right now, but I mean, that's going to keep coming in. So thankfully for that. Hopefully we'll keep getting those doses. And the last time this website was updated was 12/28. I think what they're going to do is try to do it weekly, dump of data into the website. So everything that I'm basing my numbers on is off of that website, which was 5 days ago. We started receiving those vaccines, or the vaccine, on 12/14. So we had 2 weeks of data from the time that we received the vaccine until 12/28 when the website was updated. I think about the same time that it went live. And out of the 128,175 doses of vaccine, we have 20,354 to be exact, that has been administered in the 14 days since we received the vaccine. At 20,000, I looked at that number and thought we're doing pretty good. 20,000 in 2 weeks. It gave me some hope, which I think all of us are wanting to have out there right now, is some hope that we'll get this vaccine out. People will start getting it. We'll start seeing the curve reduced. We'll start developing the herd immunity everybody's been talking about. And hopefully, they've said by spring, maybe summertime, we'll start being able to go back to life as somewhat normal. I mean, I've heard people still talking about we're going to be wearing masks for the rest of the year. I don't know, I guess it's just going to depend on how quick this vaccine's rolled out. But to touch on the points, we've got 128,175 doses. We've administered 20,000 in 14 days since December the 14th. In those 14 days, so if you break it down, and go by day. We vaccinated 1,453 people per day. 1,000 people per day in a state of 4.9 million. And, and everyone on these radio waves and everyone, I mean, basically, all the right-wing talk shows are talking about how great things are going. And 1,453 people a day is great. Furthermore, if you break that 1,453 people per day vaccinated down in the state by county, so we got 67 counties in the state of Alabama. When you figure that out, that's 21 people per day per county that's been vaccinated. I mean, folks, I don't know what world everybody else lives in, but if we're vaccinating in the previous 2 weeks, 21 people per day per county, we're not doing great. Not considering that we've had months to prepare for this vaccine rollout. And the one thing that Trump done that I applaud him for was this Operation Warp Speed. It was truly phenomenal to see the amount of taxpayer money go into corporate pharmaceuticals funded by us to produce this vaccine as quickly as it has been. And everybody that talks about the health care, Medicare for all or anything else, and worried about the government going to control your health care. I mean, they've tried to say, oh, this was a great joint venture between government and private industry. And I mean, we're doing this. The proposal is to do the same thing under Medicare for all. The taxpayers fund your health care. It's exact same thing that Bernie's been calling for years. Trump done it. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it's tried to, and they try to put it under the guise of capitalism has saved us. But the fact of the matter is, capitalism had no interest in creating this vaccine until they got plenty of money from us.
Right.
But to go back and touch, because you didn't hear what I was saying. We've got.
I'm sure it was great.
Well, I don't know about that. We've got 128,000 doses of vaccine. We've administered 20,000 in the 14 days since 12/14. 1,453 people per day in the state of Alabama have been vaccinated. 1,400, and this is the Operation Warp Speed we're talking about.
Right.
Broken down by county, that's 21 people per day in each county that's been vaccinated since in the past 2 weeks that we've got the vaccine. 21 people per day.
Have they? We've got to ramp it. Do they have plans?
Well, that's the whole thing that everybody keeps saying. Well, we feel like this is going to speed up some more. We feel like this is going to increase.
Right.
At this rate, we're looking at 3,372 days, 9.2 years before everyone in the state of Alabama is vaccinated. At this rate, 21 people per day per county. And I don't know what's going on. When we've got an eighth of a million doses sitting in freezers.
Right.
We've had 9 months to prepare. How are we going to do this per county? They've shuffled all of this off to Walgreens, to CVS, to the hospitals. How are we not getting more people vaccinated? 21 people per day per county. How is it not happening? And I honestly think I truly believe, and maybe it's conspiratorial, but I truly believe this is private industry trying to figure out how they can get some more money out of our tax dollars to implement this. They're trying to force the government to give them more money to start vaccinating people, and this is capitalism at its finest.
Well, you mentioned that a lot of these corporations are getting money from from the government. They're getting some kind of subsidies, or they're getting grants and things like that. And that's the way that virtually every real innovation in the healthcare industry happens is you get public funding. It doesn't, one of the reasons that people will say, oh, we don't want Medicare for all, we don't want government-run healthcare here, is because supposedly we have the state-of-the-art stuff because we've got private enterprise and we've got the means to do research and development and stuff like that. That money comes from the government.
No. The money don't come from the government.
Yeah,
the money comes out of our pockets. So we fund private industry, and private industry keeps the profits.
And there's been really good hearings that some of the new Congress folks have done. Like AOC did a really good hearing where she she was talking to this pharmaceutical executive and
loud up the phones now.
Yeah, well, she was talking to it. Well, I mean, it's like it doesn't. It's just like she laid out really well something that goes on, and she had the pharmaceutical executive repeat how much money they got from the government, and then they made them repeat how much money they're selling this for, and how much money is going into their pockets, and why are we the people not being reimbursed properly for our investment in this. In these products. And it happens, it's going to be happening with the vaccine, and it happens with all the other medical innovations that happen in the country.
21 people per day per county.
We gotta turn those numbers around. So folks, this is the Valley Labor Report. We will be right back. If you want to give us a call, 1-866-494-9866 is the number.
You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morris.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week, get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/The Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, you can search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments to release throughout the week. So if you don't want to watch the whole show, but maybe one of the conversations that we had seemed interesting to you, you'll be able to see just that conversation that way. We also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So, to see if we are on your listening platform of choice, go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe, and we have a website, thevalleylaborreport.org. You can check out our work there. And finally, if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.